It's that time of year again. I'm showing you my 22 favorite plants of 2022. 22 plants. Who's gonna be on top? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, hi, welcome, I'm Patrick and I love plants. And in today's video, I'm showing you 22 of my favorite plants. It's been a year, it's flown by, and I wanted to show appreciation to the plants that brought me joy during the best times and the rough times. So without further ado, let's get to my 22 favorite plants of 2022. Starting the list out with my Black Pagoda lipstick plant. This is super cute and you know, it's gone through a lot, you could tell. I grow this outside and I've spent a lot of moments just outside admiring this very plant. I love the texture of the leaves. It has a really cool pattern to it. As many comments as I get about how underwhelming the flowers are, I absolutely love them. I think the shade of yellow is just so beautiful, especially with the little bit of red from the sun stressing of the leaves and even a little bit of the red in the flower. I think it is such a beauty and I'll continue to admire and cherish this plant for as long as it lives. Next is my epiphyllum, Queen of the Night. I think it is such a beautiful plant and it's been really easy to grow. It did bloom for me, but I missed it. So had I caught that bloom in time, this would probably be a lot higher on my list. But I still enjoy the new growth that it gives me and it's pretty effortless in its growing. I just water it whenever it's dry or whenever I remember to, honestly. With it being a cactus, it has been a little bit more forgiving with drying out and it plumps right back up. And like I said, it even flowered for me, so fingers crossed that it flowers for me again and that I actually catch it this year. Ever since that happened, I've been showing it love daily and have been appreciating it every day just in case that it does put out a bloom and I don't want to miss it again. So I promise if it blooms again, I won't miss it. Did you hear me? I promise. Next plant is this Hoya pubicalyx Reva. I got this as a gift for Christmas about 2 years ago. So it's grown so much. My friend got this for me from the Berkeley Botanic Garden, which I think is really cool. And it's grown so much. I think it's so beautiful. I also grow this outside. So I think it is beautiful in its imperfection. And it has some really nice sun stressing, which I love. It has bloomed for me and the blooms smell so gorgeous. It is a nice, beautiful, tropical flower scent. It's different from all the other Hoyas that I've smelled. It smelled a lot more like an orchid than it did a jasmine, if that makes sense. I love this thing so much. I'm always excited to show my friend Christine every time she comes over how much bigger it's gotten too, so thank you, Christine. Next is my Philodendron squamiferum. We've gone through quite a bit of drama this year. It just bent in half and I thought I'd go with it and see what happens, and it didn't continue to grow, so I ended up just cutting it off right here, and this is the new growth that it's put out since. I feel like I'm starting over with maturity, but it seems to be catching up pretty fast. And I still really do love this bristly petiole. This is my Hoya AH074 Silver, and I love this plant. I think it's so beautiful. I was really excited when I first got it because I got this at Gardino Nursery a little over a year ago. But the thing is, I had the hardest time growing the leaves out, and I feel like I finally got my groove in the growing silver leaves. Now that was the reason why I was asking so many people about developing silver in Hoyas. I'm really happy that it's finally putting out beautiful silver leaves. I really did think that this was reverting, but I don't know. I don't know if it actually can revert, if it's like embedded in its DNA to be silver like this. Maybe I just needed to be more patient and wait, but here it is. So this was a good year for me and this Hoya. Next is my Hoya Parviflora Splash. I replanted this into this pot sometime last year, and this year I just got the idea of coiling this around and hoping that it roots. I've had or purchased so many Hoyas with it growing so wild in the pot that it kind of roots itself into the soil. That gave me the idea to create a fuller plant by rooting this around the pot by just laying it around like that. And look, there's tons of roots in there, and I'm hoping for some new growth to kind of sprout up, and then eventually I'll probably trellis it. But I think this is so beautiful with all of its like really hard waxy leaves, and they're nice and splashy. I can't wait for this to grow some more. Just look at this plant. Look at how beautiful it is. Next is my Astrophytum Onzuka hybrid. I love this thing just because it's stayed alive. I've not had to worry about this thing, or even when I do realize that it's raining and it's a little too late. Some of my plants that I get to, unfortunately with the rain, sometimes I get to my plants a little too late. My first reaction to rain is to rejoice because we never get rain, so I get excited for all my other plants. But then always at night I'm like, oh no, my cacti. And unfortunately I have gotten to some of them a little too late, and I've experienced rotting, but not with this Astrophytum, and I just want to appreciate it for not doing that. I really do love too how beautiful and cool it looks with that texture, all the dots. It's even bloomed for me. It puts out a really beautiful bright yellow flower. Number 14 is another looker, and it is this one. This is my Euphorbia obesa, and I think this is such a beautiful Euphorbia. I love its round shape, and I just think it's so cool with all of the lines that it gets from the mild sun stressing that I give it from where it's growing. It doesn't get too much bright sun, but it gets enough. Again, it hasn't rotted for me, and it's been rainy, so this is nice. I want to appreciate it and also keep it inside. Especially during these cold and rainy months, I just want to protect it. But once it's nice and dry and bright and sunny and hot, I'm going to put it back outside, because that's how these cacti and succulents grow hardier roots, is through more sun. This is my Euphorbia rapulum. This plant has been such a diva. I've been just on pins and needles the whole year waiting for what these leaves are look like, and lo and behold, it's the end of the year and I'm still waiting. It's just keeping me on edge, and I love that about it. And also, this is one Euphorbia that absolutely loves the water, so the more I water it, the bigger this growth gets, so that's encouraging. I really can't wait for it to open up and see its beauty in full force. Number 10 is my Syndapsis pictus exotica. I can't say enough great things about this plant, especially when out plant shopping, and I'm always tempted to buy another one. Actually, I do have another one for when I want to repot this. I'm going to combine it with a smaller plant because I just find these leaves to be so beautiful. Everything about this plant is beautiful. I love the leaf shape. I love how thick the leaves are. And then I love the silver splashing on it. It just can't be real, although it is, you know? Just look at this new leaf. Isn't that gorgeous? Now that you mention it, it's gorgeous. Next is my Anthurium clarinervium. I love how easygoing this plant is, and it's so beautiful. I love that it has these thick, suede-like leaves that are almost like cardboard, and I've always found the veination on this plant to be so beautiful. This was the first Anthurium that I've ever wanted, and it still remains to be like one of my favorite Anthuriums. I am again always tempted to buy another one. In fact, I actually do want to buy another one. I want to combine this and have it be encouraged with some new growth, because all it's been doing is giving me flowers. So maybe I need to water it more. Maybe I need to repot it, since I haven't repotted this in about 2 years, for as long as I've had it. But I love this plant, and I love that it's still alive despite how little effort I put into it. So 2023, I'm gonna be a little nicer to you. This is my Philodendron Jose Buono. I've showed this off so many times, but Ziggy got to it and it fell over. It was in its older pot, which was a lot lighter and smaller. So it was a little top heavy, and I ended up having to cut the top 3 or 4 leaves off, which those are propagating, so not everything is lost. I hope to have more Jose Buono plants once those root, and I probably will. And I'm curious to see where the new growth point will come out of in this plant, so it's just the waiting game. But I still love this thing, and I can't wait to see what it and its babies bring me in the next year. Next is my Hoya Kerrii Heavy Splash. I got this from Gardino Nursery last year, and I love this thing. And it was so cool when I went to Perfect Choice Nursery. They had a ton of these growing, and I've never seen them anywhere else. So I was really excited, and you guys can get them too now. You know where to find them. And I just love it. It's been a slow grower, but I appreciate that. I really like how it loves the Mars Hydro Grow Tent. I have this growing really close to the light, so I do get a little bit of sun stressing, and I think that's super beautiful. And another thing that I noticed is that for Kerrii, it grows super bushy, and the nodes and leaves grow very close together, which I like. So this is a really interesting Hoya Kerrii. I highly recommend it. Who's a bushy tree? Next plant is this Ficus elastica. I love this plant. It's been such a cool plant, and it's been really chill. I kind of had this plant for a while, and it just stayed in the background, but this year I decided to play around with it. I wanted to encourage more branching, so I nipped the new growth, just like, you know, twisting them off, and eventually it gave me 2 growth points every time, every place that I did that to. So it was a successful branching out of this plant, and now it's nice and bushy. I love it. I love this thing so much. So I like to spoil it and give it some periods of bright light. I don't even need to do that. It's just super easy going, but I love it. And I stare at it almost daily. Next is this Begonia Breakdance. It has really taken off this winter, And that's surprising because I didn't think begonias would like winter. But this one has been loving it. Ever since I repotted it into this pot, it's been just rewarding me with really nice, beautiful new leaves. And it's super bushy, and I love that. What I love about this begonia too is the new growth. I love the hairy everything. It's pretty much hairy all the way from the petiole and all, like the edge of the leaf, which I think is really cool. And it's got this really beautiful metallic sheen to it if the light hits it just right. It's got all the things I love about begonias without the fragility of most of the begonias, especially the begonia rexes that I know and love and have lost. But this has decided to stay, and I think what it is I think I really like the rhizomatous begonias. Those are nice and hardy, and they love growing outside. I appreciate that. I love a good outside grower. This is my Philodendron atabapoense. I got this from Carnivoro last year. You know, I made an unboxing video, and you can catch that in my channel. I'll try to put the description in the link, or I'll try to put the link in the description below. This has been super chill, and I'm excited for this new leaf because it looks like the leaves are just slowly maturing. So it's gonna give me a nice, beautiful, mature leaf. And I really love how I feel like this plant is really sculptural in a way, or architectural, I don't know. The leaves are so beautiful, and I feel like it just kind of gracefully grows, if that makes any sense. But I think it's beautiful. From its long, beautiful leaf, its dark green color, and then its maroon abaxial surface. It's just a really beautiful plant, and I feel like it's underrated in the Philodendron exotic plant world. Next is my variegated Pachira aquatica, the variegated money tree. This is an awesome plant. I love this thing, and I've been able to keep it alive, which is amazing, and I can't do it without the help of my grow tent. But I don't know why it is, but I have a hard time. Usually, I've had a hard time with money trees before, and I'm really just happy that I've been able to keep it alive, and the variegation has remained stable. It's so beautiful, and it'll look a lot better once it warms up again, but I'm just happy again to keep it alive. And doesn't it look beautiful in this West Elm pot? I think it's so pretty. I actually put it in here without a drainage hole. Shocking, I know, but I kind of like it. And now I am thinking of putting more plants in pots without drainage holes. I feel like you really just have to know your plant in order to successfully do that. And I've had this for a little over a year, and I know its watering patterns and habits, so I feel like I'm able to do that with this plant, and I want to do that with more plants now.
What number are we on?
Number 5. Okay. Number 5, top 5, is the Philodendron Florida Ghost. This is a beautiful plant, and I think it's grown back beautifully. I love how it looks right now, like right now. I love the green leaves, and then that nice new leaf that's emerging. That's that beautiful ghostly green color. I love it. And I love this plant even more because I trimmed it down, as you can tell. And I have a whole nother pot of baby Florida Ghost growing. I even have some in a Tupperware that reminds me of just like little nodes growing. I should check on that. Whoa. These have been in there for many months. but I should probably repot this. And I'll pot these up for my Spiritus Sancti members. Thank you. So check me out on Patreon. Next is my Ficus religiosa plant tree. It's a little baby tree. I love that thing, and I got it from Sunset Nursery. And we've gone through a lot. I've actually lost all its leaves this year, and I did the same thing of like, you know, nipping the new growth. And it gave me a ton of leaves, and now it's so bushy and it has all these growth points. I'm really excited, and I do want to plant it in the ground, but I do want to plant it in the ground when I'm in a more permanent home situation. Well, I mean, I'm permanently here, but we do plan on doing stuff to it, but that's nothing that you have to worry about.
Let's get to number 3. Number 3
Is this beautiful Philodendron gloriosum, and I'm just really happy with how this very plant looks on this day. Now, for the longest time of having this plant, it was only giving me 2 to 3 leaves at a time, and I solved that by planting it in this pot where it can't grow out of it, so it's just kind of trapped in the pot and it's forced to grow and crawl along the ground. It encourages more root growth in the nodes too, so it's pretty solid in there. And then eventually I cut it, so now it's 2 plants in there with many leaves. And just like that, I have a beautiful full pot of Philodendron gloriosum that I've always wanted. Look at this new leaf. Isn't that pretty? Oh yeah, and I love this pot. Shout out to La Planta Vida on Instagram. She made this pot and I still love it. Number 2 is my second favorite plant of the year, and definitely has to be this beautiful Dischidia ovata. I love how just full it's grown. It's nice and bushy. I've dropped this thing and I have injured it, but the injuries have also made it more bushier, so all happy accidents. I love these leaves. These leaves are nice, thick, they're beautiful with its sun stressing, and if you water it enough, I found out, it gives you these really cool cardboard-like thick leaves, and I absolutely love that about this plant. Like, I just love running my hands through it, and I love admiring its blooms. It even has new growth right there with the new leaf. Isn't that so cute? So this is one plant that I really love, and I highly recommend it. Just look at that. This plant has made me so happy this year, and I thank you. Finally, number 1, my favorite plant this year, hands down, has to be the Philodendron Florida Beauty. I love its variegation, and I love the plant. Joe got that for me for my birthday 2 birthdays ago, and it's just been so giving. I've gotten some cuttings and I've grown some plants, and some of my friends have purchased cuttings for me, so I hope those are doing well. But it is just the most beautiful plant. I'm staring at it right now. I absolutely love the variegation on the plant. It's got this beautiful marbling to it, and it's been really stress-free. When I first owned the plant, I thought it was going to be stressful because I was worried about it reverting, but once I put it in the Mars Hydro Grow tent and have given it consistent bright light, it's consistently been putting out beautifully variegated leaves, and I don't even worry about it anymore. It's almost time to cut it down again, so I'll be propagating some Philodendron Florida beauties again in the year 2023. Thank you so much for joining me as I showed you 22 of my favorite plants from this year. It has been an awesome year and it's definitely had its ups and downs, but I thank you so much for being there through it all. I'm looking forward to the year 2023. I hope you stick around, but definitely stick around till the very end of this year because I do have more videos coming out. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Please throw me a bone and give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my plant videos, come plant shopping with me. Hit that subscribe button. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I just don't want to miss you too much. So if you could show me some love in the comments and I'll meet you there. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove, yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops, yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be